Now under 15 minutes until liftoff of the Progress 77 spacecraft. After liftoff tonight, we will stay on the air through several milestones. The first will be looking for first stage shutdown and separation at 1 minute and 58 seconds after launch. 3 minutes and 3 seconds after launch, we'll see the launch shroud jettisoned. That's the area protecting the spacecraft. At 4 minutes and 37 seconds after launch, we will see second stage shutdown and separation, and third stage ignition. Third stage will continue to fire until 8 minutes and 45 seconds after launch, when we see third stage shutdown, spacecraft separation, and orbital insertion. We'll stay on the air and look to see the unfurling of Progress solar arrays, as well as their navigation antennas and checkouts of the external camera. As we mentioned, this will be a 33-orbit rendezvous with Progress arriving at the International Space Station Wednesday morning. It will complete an automated docking around 1:20 a.m. Eastern Time. "12 minutes now until liftoff of Progress 77 from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. As we mentioned, Progress is launching from Site 31, which is where all Soyuz launches currently take place until refurbishments are complete at Launch Site 1, called Gagarin Start, the launch pad from which Yuri Gagarin lifted off to become the first human in space, and that's 60-year anniversary coming up this April 12th. "10 minutes until liftoff of Progress 77. Once Progress arrives, it will dock to the Piers docking compartment. where it will stay until later this year. Upon undocking, Progress 77 will extract the Pirs docking compartment to clear the nadir port and make way for the Nauka module to launch on a Proton rocket later this year. The team at the Russian Mission Control Center in Koryov outside of Moscow has confirmed their readiness for launch, now under 9 minutes until liftoff. Coming up on T-minus 7 minutes until launch, that physical launch key preparing to be inserted at launch bunker by the launch conductor. This will transition the launch sequence into automatic mode. The next milestone coming up in about 1 minute, when the launch conductor in Baikonur will evaluate and report if the range is clear. And we've just heard the call that they are go for launch. Five minutes now until scheduled liftoff for the Progress 77 resupply craft from Site 31 at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. Teams will begin purging the fuel lines of the rocket engines with nitrogen to fireproof them by removing any vapors of fuel and oxidizer. And coming up at T-minus 4 minutes, the onboard systems will switch to autonomous control, followed by the booster tanks being pressurized for flight, optimizing the flow of fuel. Now inside 3 minutes and 30 seconds until launch, the key to the drainage position at the launch site will be turned into the proper position. The valves through which evaporated or gaseous O2 escapes from the fuel tanks into the atmosphere are closed, and fuel will begin draining back into the tanks to maintain proper weight distribution of the vehicle. And that process is underway. This view of the Russian Mission Control Center in the town of Koryov outside of Moscow. Flight control teams monitoring the vehicle. Coming up on 2 minutes and 30 seconds until liftoff. At the 1 minute and 30 second mark, the ground propellant feed to the first stage of the Soyuz booster will be terminated, and at T-minus 1 minute, the Soyuz booster itself will go on internal power. The booster propellant tank pressurization has been initiated. And that T-minus 1 minute and 30 second mark, we'll be looking for that ground propellant feed to the first stage of the Soyuz booster to be terminated. Now under 1 minute until launch. Soyuz booster will be on internal power. In about 10 seconds, we'll be looking for retraction of the first umbilical. The vehicle is on internal power, and there's retraction of the first umbilical, looking for the second to come in at about the T-minus 12 second mark. The launch command has been issued. We have engine start and the second umbilical tower separation. Turbo pumps at flight speed and liftoff of the 77th Progress resupply vehicle for its 2-day, 33-orbit journey to the International Space Station. The flight continues nominal so far, first stage. Structural parameters are nominal, and this animation showing us what is happening with the Soyuz 2.1A booster. Its first stage engines continuing to fire. Vehicle is reported stable, and that first stage continuing until about 1 minute and 58 seconds after launch. Now 1 minute into the flight of Progress 77. Parameters being reported as nominal at liftoff. The International Space Station was flying 260 statute miles over southern Argentina. Everything continuing to be reported as nominal. And we've had first stage shutdown and separation. Strap-on solid rocket boosters have been jettisoned. The spacecraft now traveling at 4,500 miles per hour in velocity, 29 miles in altitude, and 29 miles downrange from the Cosmodrome. Continuing to hear nominal calls. Coming up next at about 3 minutes after launch, we'll see the launch shroud jettison, as you've seen in this animation. Now 3 minutes into the flight of Progress 77 aboard a Soyuz 2.1A rocket. The vehicle is stable. All good reports on its journey to the International Space Station. Now traveling 5,200 miles per hour, and we've just had confirmation of the launch shroud jettison. Coming up at 4 minutes and 37 seconds after launch, the second stage shutdown and separation will occur. Everything continuing to be nominal, now 3 minutes and 47 seconds after launch. This view from the balcony of the Russian Mission Control Center in Koryov. And reports of the second stage engine functioning nominally. The view on the screen in the Russian Mission Control Center, a camera on the upper stage of the Soyuz 2.1A booster. And with second stage separation, we have third stage ignition. The vehicle now traveling 9,300 miles per hour. All reports coming back clear for progress and the Soyuz 2.1A booster as it continues its journey to the International Space Station. The third stage engines continue operating as planned. And those third stage engines will continue to burn until 8 minutes and 45 seconds after launch, so under 3 minutes from now. Good data from Progress 77 and its third stage continuing to burn now 6 minutes and 35 seconds after liftoff. Less than 2 minutes until third stage shutdown. Now 7 minutes into the flight, everything continuing to proceed as planned. Good pitch, roll, and yaw programs of the vehicle. Just about 1 minute now until third stage shutdown. Those third stage engines continuing to fire as planned, the vehicle operating well. About 30 seconds left in this third stage. And you can see third stage shutdown and separation from the Progress 77 vehicle, right on time, 8 minutes and 45 seconds after launch. And the unfurling of Progress 77's solar arrays. And the second set of antennas have been deployed as well. Teams on the ground will begin testing the external television camera. All parameters being reported as nominal. And with spacecraft separation, the flight control has been transferred to this team here at the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow in the town of Koryov. Hearing good reports about the Progress solar arrays, which we saw deployed from the spacecraft. Pre-programmed engine firings will raise Progress altitude to match that of the station. The spacecraft now traveling about 17,500 miles per hour and its preliminary altitude of 125 statute miles. Recapping some milestones from today, liftoff occurred on time at 10:45 p.m. Central Time, 9:45 a.m. at the launch site in Baikonur. The Soyuz 2.1A booster lifted off from Site 31 in Baikonur, and all three stages operated as expected, propelling Progress into its preliminary orbit, where it now resides. Progress will stay at the station on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment until later this year. Upon undocking, it will extract the Pirs docking compartment and clear the port for the Nauka module to launch on a Proton rocket. Coming up next for Progress 77, you can tune in for live coverage of its automated docking to the station early Wednesday morning beginning at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time, with that docking scheduled around 1:20 a.m. Eastern Time. And with good reports from Progress, thank you for joining our launch coverage tonight, and we hope you'll tune in for docking on Wednesday morning. This is Mission Control Houston.